Hello, listeners. It's A-Train, and you're listening to True Crime Undercover, and I'm here with the star, Super E.
What's up, everybody?
And how are you today, Super E?
I'm trying not to freeze to death.
Yes, very chilly. Very chilly.
Yes.
Well, do you have a tale to warm us up? I don't even know what that means.
Kind of. Okay. This is something I want to bitch about.
Okay.
I want to vent.
Okay.
I feel like I was wronged on this.
Okay.
Diane, my partner, she was out patronizing, as we'd call it. She was standing on the corner, Keystone and Washington. She would have been on the northeast corner, in fact. And I'm sitting there, and RJ wasn't there, so it's just me. So, you got to be extra cautious.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to just be able to talk. You got to calm him down, talk him into the handcuffs, and then off to jail to go. So Diane's out there patronizing, and car pulls up, and she's talking, and I can see it looks like a young guy. I didn't know how young he was, but he looked young, and he looked, athletic and fit. Like, why would he be on Washington Street? But again, we just had the category of weirdos.
Yeah.
And so she signals me, and I go over, and it's a 16-year-old kid who offered her, sex for money.
Huh.
And then I said, hey, I didn't know how old he was at the time, but I'm trying to get him out, and he starts to stiffen up on me. And I've got it's not like I beat him, but I just said, give me your hand. And I had to muscle his hands behind his back.
So when you say stiffen up on you, you're talking about he's stiffening up his arms so you can't cuff him.
Yes.
Okay.
He's not stiffening south of the border.
Got it.
So he didn't want to put his arms behind his back, and it took some effort. And he's strong. And then he tells me he's only 16 years old. It kind of made me feel like a puss, but And so I put him in the back of the vehicle, and I said, so what are we doing with this guy? Are we going to give him a warning? And she goes, no, the way he talked to me, nope. So I guess he was abusive or something. Something he did upset her.
Wow.
So I was like, let's call for a wagon or take him down to the juvenile. And she goes, well, hold on a second. There's another car that keeps circling. He's circling us now, even though what we're doing, and it doesn't seem to sink into this guy in this red, faded 77 Plymouth Fury. And so I'm like, okay. So I put this guy in the back seat, and I said, just sit there. Don't do anything stupid. She's going to check and see what this guy's up to. And then the guy all of a sudden became, yes, sir, no, sir. Okay, sir, I'm fine, sir. And here comes this 77 Fury. It pulls into that lot. And I can't see who's driving it. And because he was short. And I see Diane's talking to him, and then she gives me the signal, and I tell the guy, hey, we're just going to slowly pull up. I'm going to get out and talk to this guy. You just stay right here. Don't do anything stupid, okay? He goes, I won't, I'm okay. I said, okay. So I walk up, and I look into the car, and it's a little bitty dude. Come to find out, he was from Vietnam. A bunch of Vietnamese people were able to make it over here in 1975.
Right.
Well, this is like 15 years later.
Okay.
And now he's a grown man, and he's out doing things he was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Well, I start to talk to him, and he just, sir, will you turn off the car and exit your vehicle, which he interpreted as throw it in drive and stomp on the accelerator. He goes flying out of the parking lot, and as soon as he left the parking lot, his car pointed south. He was right at the stop sign. And there was cars going east and west. As I'm running up on him, he just guns it, spins out 3 times like he's on Vice Grip Garage, where they do the burnouts. He can't control the car, and he's just doing burnouts, and finally it shoots westbound, but he's bouncing from each lane. East lane, west lane, and I thought, oh my God, this guy's going to kill somebody. Then he loses control, goes right off Washington Street, and introduces the front end of the car to a tree. blam, and all of a sudden, smoke and debris come flying up, and I can't see anything, and I couldn't tell if he hit a pedestrian because I heard somebody screaming.
Oh, man.
Here comes some dude trying to run him over.
Yeah.
So everybody's screaming, and I look back at the 16-year-old dude that we had handcuffed, and I said, I'm not going after this guy. I'm just going to see if everybody's okay. And I said, hold on a second. So I get on the radio, and can't remember our number. I said, suspect just crashed his car westbound, 77 Plymouth Fury red, and appears he's running south in a southwestern escape route. And they go, okay, which way is he going now? I said, he's running right up to where you're at, communications, because our communication center was right there, State and Washington Street.
Uh-huh.
And so was one of the narcotics branches. So he's running right into where all the narcotics guys and communications people were.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, I don't have time to worry about this guy.
Right.
Don't care. I might have a couple of injured pedestrians because he just clobbered that tree, and I don't care if he blew his horn. It was still his fault. That tree didn't get out of his way.
Uh-huh.
But I thought somebody was laying there. So I didn't race. I drove about 5 to 10 miles an hour because I got this kid in the back seat.
Mm-hmm.
And I pull up, smoke and debris everywhere. And I get out. Nobody's injured. One person just dove onto the ground and they're like, what the hell is going on? That guy's a psychopath. Well, he's just horny, and now he's running. And so that was the end of that. And we took the 16-year, I asked the guy, he goes, oh man, that was cool. That was fun. I mean, he thought it was the greatest thing in the world.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So he ends up going to juvenile. Well, his mother started calling and complaining about him being arrested. And then when he told her how awesome it was to see this guy do a bunch of donuts, spin out, take off, and crash into a tree and almost kill people, it was like the time of his life. He thought it was the greatest thing in the world. She, on the other hand, thought we risked her son's life, even though picking up prostitutes isn't dangerous at all.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That wasn't a concern. Is that he rode less than 5 miles an hour with me to make sure somebody had been run over.
Right.
So, anyways.
So go ahead. I'm sorry. No. I was just going to ask was the Vietnamese guy still in the car?
No, he was long gone. He ran. He took off. After he smashed into the tree and people were diving on the way, he bailed out and ran.
I got you. Okay.
And he was gone. And I wasn't concerned about him at all. I was just going to run the plate and try to see.
Right.
And so then I get a call. I get a call the next day while I was sitting in the office. And this woman, the mother, is bitching at me. Why did you do that? I said, well, I didn't do it. My partner arrested him. Well, why couldn't she just let him go? He's my son. He's a nice boy. Uh-huh. I said, okay, he might be. I don't know your son. But he tried to pick up my partner, sex for money. Well, that's not that big of a deal. You should have just let him go.
Oh, my God.
And I said, I don't make that. Diane makes that decision. And he said or did something that concerned her, where she thought he needed to go to jail. There was no where, you can sit there, well, don't do it again. This is your warning. No, something concerned her where she thought he needed to go. And so she goes, well, what's this? But he was involved in a police chase. Police chase? I said a second car just came along, tried to pick her up, and then he took off after I had badged him. And then I thought somebody was killed when he crashed about a half block down, and I slowly drove up with your son in the back seat. And she goes, well, I don't think that's right. And then she goes, I'm going to call and complain. I said, go ahead. And then she said she talked to some detective that was from East District. His name was Kenny. I won't say what his last name was. No, he was old, so he wasn't any of the people.
I know who he is.
Yeah, and he was a complete fucking goof. And he goes, oh, you can't have a prisoner on a police chase. He was getting her all riled up, saying, well, you can't do that. And I didn't do it. So then I get a call. I had to go in internal affairs and talk to this guy.
Oh, my God.
I can't remember what his name was. I'll tell you what his name was. Fuck him. His last name was Park, I think. Okay. And I tell him the story, exactly what I just told you. Hey, you know, I thought somebody was injured, blah, blah, blah. Uh-huh. And after I got done talking, he's listening. He goes, well, I still think you, he goes, I believe the mom. I think you were in a police chase. I said, I don't give a shit what you think. I'm telling the truth. But I just got up and left. I was like, fuck him. Yeah. Fuck that guy.
So,
you know?
Yeah, he believes the mom that wasn't there.
Yeah, that wasn't there.
The mother of the year who thinks it's really not that big a deal that her son was out trying to pick up prostitutes. And he kind of resisted you a little bit.
Yeah, he stiffened up on me a little bit, but no, I didn't mention that. But he also had a lot of fun getting to watch that car do all that shit. So he was like, "That was fun, Mom." He was like mad, if I remember correctly. He was mad that she was bitching about it. So anyways, this weasel Eternal Affairs guy sends a letter to Captain Crockett, and it said, he said, I find against Detective Super E on this. I believe what the mother said or something like that. But, Captain, I'm going to leave any punishment or discipline up to you. And this is why everybody loved Captain Crockett. He read it and looked at me and he goes, I think you did this right thing. He goes, fuck this guy, and wadded up that paper and threw it in the trash.
Good for him.
Yep. He
was awesome, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Yeah. God rest his soul.
God rest it. You know what? When we'd have, this was like 20-some years later, when a lot of the Vice peoples, they're not with us anymore, but this was about 15, 16 years ago. We were all together talking, and all of us were all saying, Captain Crockett, you know, the values he instilled with us on helping our community is what made us motivated. You know, we were out there to help the community. I know now it's like, oh, police are all corrupt and all this shit. No, when we were out there, we were saying, okay, this is a problem for the people that live in this area. And we don't want their kids to see this. We want them to have to deal with it.
Right.
And, you know, we risked our lives in like buying the drugs, you know, going into the crack house because Grandma and Grandpa lived next door and was tired of seeing the drug addicts and the prostitutes and the Johns.
Yeah.
All going in there, gunshots going off, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
To get that out of the neighborhood.
And, you know, today, you're not seeing much of that street level stuff. And
they do not care.
Well, they don't care, and they are they're scared that they're going to get in trouble, you know?
Yeah, they don't. Our officers now where we used to work at, I don't think they back them up.
Yeah.
They basically tell them, if you don't do anything, you won't get in trouble. So,
right.
The citizens are the ones that are paying for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, I'm not saying that everything we did back in the day was right, but I believe we need to get back to a little of that kind of policing because, you know, there's like a fine line between chaos and order, and you gotta do that street level stuff to keep the chaos from overflowing. And obviously, it's overflowing right now. So
yes, and criminal violence has to be stopped with strength, not cowardice.
100%. Right, and we're not talking about you know, brutality or anything like that, but you have to project strength because
you can't be afraid.
You know, some people don't realize this. I mean, some of these hardened criminals, they don't understand anything but strength. If they see weakness, they're going to exploit it. You know.
Yeah, that's why there's victims, because they can pick up on weakness and they love to exploit it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And now the criminals, they don't fear prison because they know they're not going there.
Yes, I agree with you, Super E.
They don't. They're not worried about consequences. They feel like now the rules don't apply to them. They have no consequences. You know, they can do whatever they want, and you just need to shut up and quit complaining about it.
Right. Right. Well, I hope I believe that things are going to turn just a little bit toward the positive on
Yes.
this kind of stuff. So let's keep our fingers crossed and say a little prayer.
We will do that.
All right. Well, listen, everybody. You got anything else to say, Super E?
No, I hope everybody stays safe and warm and has a good holiday.
All
Christmas.
right.
Everybody
Yes.
have a good Christmas.
I agree. Okay, we're out. We'll see y'all.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.